The marble floors of Riverside Park's new inclusive playground gleamed under the afternoon sun, but 10-year-old Emma Chen sat motionless in her wheelchair, watching other children race past her like colorful blurs. Her fingers traced the metal armrest as laughter echoed around here, a symphony she could hear but never join. Behind designer sunglasses, tears threatened to fall as she wondered if she'd ever be more than an observer in her own childhood. Emma's father, David Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, stood 30 feet away, pretending to check his phone while his heart shattered with each passing minute. He'd built a business empire worth hundreds of millions, commanded boardrooms filled with powerful executives, and negotiated deals that moved markets. Yet here, watching his daughter's isolation, he felt completely powerless. The accident 2 years ago had stolen more than Emma's ability to walk. It had stolen her confidence, her joy, and worst of all, her belief that anyone would want to be her friend. David had tried everything: private tutors, exclusive therapy sessions, even flying in specialists from Switzerland. He donated $2 million to build this very playground, complete with wheelchair-accessible equipment and sensory-friendly zones. But money couldn't buy what Emma needed most: genuine friendship from someone who saw past the wheelchair to the brilliant, funny girl inside. "Daddy, can we go home?" Emma's voice was barely a whisper, but it cut through David's chest like a blade. Before he could respond, a worn-out Honda Civic pulled into the parking lot, its engine sputtering to a stop. Out stepped Marcus Williams, a construction worker still in his paint-splattered clothes, followed by his 8-year-old daughter Lily. Marcus worked 3 jobs to make ends meet since his wife Sarah had passed from cancer the year before. This playground visit was their weekly tradition, a 30 minutes of joy squeezed between his afternoon shift at the hardware store and his evening cleaning job. Lily bounced toward the playground with infectious energy, her second-hand sneakers squeaking against the rubber surface. But something made her pause. While other children gravitated toward the towering slides and spinning equipment, her attention fixed on Emma, sitting alone by the adaptive swings. Marcus noticed his daughter's hesitation and followed her gaze. He saw what she saw: not a disabled child, but a lonely one. His own experiences with isolation after Sarah's death had taught him to recognize that particular kind of sadness. "Go ahead, sweetheart," he encouraged Lily. "I think that girl could use a friend." But Lily was already walking over, her natural compassion overriding any awkwardness about the wheelchair. "Hi, I'm Lily." "What's your name?" Emma looked up, startled. Most kids either stared or pretended she didn't exist. "Emma," she replied cautiously. "That's such a pretty name." "Want to be friends?" "I don't know anyone here, and making friends is way more fun when you have someone to do it with." From his position near the parking area, David watched this interaction with bated breath. He'd seen well-meaning children approach Emma before, only to quickly lose interest when they realized she couldn't participate in typical playground activities. But Lily was different. When Emma explained she couldn't use the regular swings, Lily's face lit up. "These swings are even cooler. Look, they have room for both of us. Can you show me how they work?" For the first time in months, Emma smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. "My dad helped design them. See this transfer board? It makes it easier to get from my chair to the swing." Marcus approached slowly, not wanting to intrude but staying close enough to help if needed. "I'm Marcus, Lily's dad. This playground is amazing. Someone really thought about making sure every kid could have fun here." David found himself walking over, drawn by something he hadn't seen in his daughter's face for 2 years: pure joy. "I'm David, Emma's father. Thank you for This means everything." The two men stood side by side, watching their daughters discover the universal language of childhood play. Lily pushed Emma on the swing while Emma shared stories about the playground's special features. They moved to the sensory play area, where Emma's knowledge of textures and sounds from her occupational therapy sessions suddenly became valuable expertise she could share. "Look, Lily, if you press this button, it makes whale sounds. And this one feels like ocean waves." Emma's confidence bloomed as she became the tour guide rather than the outsider. As the afternoon wore on, Marcus learned that behind David's expensive suit and confident exterior was a father drowning in guilt and helplessness. David discovered that despite Marcus's financial struggles, he possessed something money couldn't buy: the wisdom that came from losing everything and finding strength in simple human connections. "I keep thinking I should do more," David confided as they watched Lily teaching Emma a clapping game. "Better doctors, more equipment, different schools." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "After Sarah died, I nearly drove myself crazy trying to fix Lily's sadness with things: new toys, special outings, anything to make her smile again. Took me months to realize what she really needed was just to feel normal, to have regular kid experiences with someone who accepted her exactly as she was." The revelation hit David like a physical blow. He'd been so focused on fixing Emma's disability that he'd forgotten she was still just a kid who needed friends and normal experiences. As the sun began to set, casting golden light across the playground, neither girl wanted to leave. They'd spent the day creating elaborate games that incorporated Emma's wheelchair, chariot races, rescue missions, and adventure stories where Emma was the hero, not the victim. "Can we play again tomorrow?" Lily asked, her hand resting naturally on Emma's wheelchair armrest. "Yes." Emma's response was immediate and joyful. "Dad, can we?" "Please." David looked at Marcus, seeing hope reflected in the other father's eyes. "What do you say we make this a regular thing? Maybe grab dinner afterward?" "I'd like that," Marcus replied. Lily's been talking about wanting a big sister. As they prepared to leave, Emma maneuvered her wheelchair close to Lily for a goodbye hug. "Thank you for being my friend," she whispered. "Thank you for showing me the coolest playground ever," Lily whispered back. "Tomorrow, can you teach me more about those whale sounds?" Walking to their cars, David felt something shift inside him. For 2 years, he'd been trying to build bridges for Emma with money and influence. But sometimes the most powerful connections came from the simplest acts of kindness, like a single dad recognizing that his daughter would love to play with someone who needed a friend. That night, Emma called her grandmother with excitement bubbling in her voice. "Grandma, I made a friend today. Her name is Lily. And she thinks my wheelchair is cool because it can do tricks. We're going to play again tomorrow." David listened from the doorway, tears streaming down his face. His daughter was laughing again, planning again, believing again in the possibility of friendship and joy. Marcus tucked Lily into bed that evening as she chattered about her new friend Emma and all the adventures they'd have tomorrow. "Daddy, Emma knows so many things about sounds and textures. She's like a scientist. And she's really brave. Yeah, I want to be brave like her." In that moment, both fathers understood they'd witnessed something extraordinary. Not a miracle of medical science or technological innovation, but the simple magic that happens when one human being looks at another and sees not their limitations, but their infinite potential for connection. The next day couldn't come soon enough.